can't remember.
I guess you
Yesterday I
say it
did a
like
lot.
that. I guess when you say it
Yeah.
like that, I'm probably the same way, man. This work, getting ready for my daughter's graduation and prom. That's about it.
But she's graduating in June, no?
Yeah, but it's just a bunch of headache, man. Me being there, got to do daddy duties, get the prom dress and all of that. Um, Daughter's mother calling me, stressing me out about
Okay.
she's stressing her out. So I don't know. Got to figure something out soon. So it's more the prom, if anything. I got to get that dress, and she wants a handmade dress. It's like,
That
yeah,
I'll
but
be
that's something towards I think you do when you get married. Prom, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about it too much.
for me it's the time. I'm like all the way in June. I will wait closer to June to start doing anything. But I know that's
No,
not
but
the
the
way you're
prom,
supposed to do
the
it.
prom, the prom is May, and then dresses. If you're trying to get them handmade,
It's gonna take a while.
advice to anybody that's listening, you got to do it like well in advance, because
Yeah.
then the price goes up, and then everybody's doing the same thing, trying to get it done, along with people getting married and things like that. I didn't even think about that. So that's
Okay.
that's where it's at right now, man. But anyway, what's the topic on hand today?
B6, bro.
What the hell?
B6. B6. And for people who don't know, B6 means bus six. Growing up in East New York, in Brooklyn, we had to take the bus and train everywhere. So the bus that we took to school was called B6, and we had
It's
a lot of
crazy.
stories, a lot of everything on the
Yeah,
way, on the bus, coming from the bus, back of the bus. A lot of stories with B6. So
that
hoping
crazy
to
crazy thing with B6. You got that bus. We went from the. It felt like the first stop to the last stop. I wonder where I
oh
mean,
yeah.
last stop wasn't far from
Yeah, you
where
do
we
that one
got
day. You
off.
say, "Oh, y'all want to take it to see where it goes." I thought you did. Somebody did that,
Nah,
right?
I felt
And I
like
think it was Sheepshed Bay or something. I think it goes into.
that ride
I
was
never.
so long. I didn't
Yeah.
even want to find out how long the ended. But yeah, B6, man, some crazy memories.
Well,
Um,
yeah. Start with you, man. On the way to the B6. What was your time like?
let's think about it during the week. I don't remember how we timed going to B6 because we had a little walk, but we had to obviously be at school at the same time. But you had to, I guess, leave a little bit earlier than me, and then when I came out the house, you was there sometime. Well, I had to catch up to you. I don't think we ever timed it, but a lot of times we walked together. But
I
that
mean,
walk was about
my experience though, it's the B6. It wasn't like one set time, right? It was like almost every 10 minutes or something like that, right? So even if you missed that one, you just wait for the next one, right? It was like one. It was
yeah,
always
yeah,
coming
yeah,
around.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
back then we didn't have cell phones. We was on the beepers.
yeah, yeah.
So I
So
mean,
not yeah,
if I
not all the
saw you
time.
down the street ahead of me, I'd probably try to catch you. But
Right.
um, it was just so much of a walk, and then I know if I'm running late, I'm drowsy and
Yeah.
groggy anyway. So um, I just remember getting out of the house. Sunlight wasn't even out yet, but people were out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know the crazy thing? Our street had three churches on it, didn't it? Yeah, it was
Yep.
a
Yeah.
church
Yeah.
in front. There's a church
Right
in front
next
of
door
your
to me.
church in front of your house.
Yeah.
Uh, One was right across from me, and on the other side, on the side of me. Like it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
our street was blessed, I guess. But
To a certain
anyway,
degree.
yeah,
Yeah,
to a
that's
certain degree,
funny.
because like
Yeah.
surrounding that area is just so much illegal activities.
But the thing is, I never realized the illegal activities until like probably later on in my life. Not that I didn't realize, I was just so numb to it that it was like, okay, just another day.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it wasn't. I didn't pay attention to it too much
yeah.
about illegal activities. So walking to school, what are the type of stuff that you saw walking to the bus?
hmm Um, I was thinking while you were saying illegal activities on our street is our street was kind of quiet, but still stuff was going on.
Yeah,
Um, Not until I got older and talking to and associated with a few people I know who did what on that street. But before that, I guess before getting to high school, I was numb to it. Just go to my day to day commute. But coming out of the house, I know wasn't much. Directly across the street from me is that little elementary, no, it's a daycare.
I could
So
take
it
care.
was
Yeah,
really nothing across the street. I mean, right aside from that, the elementary, the daycare and that church. But getting off the street is when it was kind of like weird if you like really think about it.
but before you do that, because like just talking to you sometimes it just bring back memory. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it, but my father owned the house and he rented upstairs apartment, and the lady, I know her name, but obviously I'm not gonna say it. She lived upstairs from us, and bro, like it was always different people coming in and out her apartment, always
Yeah,
different people coming. And I'm young, I didn't really like. Okay, I'm not really paying attention. Just like the B6 thing, I'm not really paying attention. And then when she moved out, bro, and I'm helping my father clean out the apartment, a whole bunch of crack pipes in there. I don't know if they even still do that stuff. A whole bunch of crack pipes in the
this
apartment,
is
man.
pretty good. Your house, this getting your house getting hot.
Bro, she was selling it.
Oh,
She was selling it.
oh,
She was the dealer. They was coming to her to buy it. And
and they
later
probably
on,
was
I
getting
know,
hot at the same time,
bro,
like test
it's
it out.
yeah, it was leading into what you're about to talk about. I guess that's
That's
we saw
crazy.
a lot of that around us, and like I said, I was more numb to it. Like it was around me. I never touched it or used it, but it was just always around me that I didn't really. It was like normal, and it wasn't. I didn't really analyze it until later on, like closer to now, like the stuff that was
Mm,
happening around me, and like
yeah,
walking to the bus. It was a lot of that too.
yeah.
Going to the bus station or the
Yeah,
bus
now
stop.
I'm gonna try to take it back and like remember because I got the worst memory in the world. But I know as soon as we get off our street, we live on Hendricks, you have to walk to New Lots. Facing us wasn't it a store, like a little candy store?
You made the right on New
No,
Lots.
like literally, if you're walking down to the corner, you see a candy store. Anyway, I believe there's a candy store. It's one of those stores nobody really go to.
Oh, okay, the other side.
And then on the corner of that store, they had a little restaurant. I don't remember anybody going in there, but to
Oh,
give the
okay, okay.
viewers a view of what I'm talking about, I don't know if you ever seen the Bronx Tales, that little restaurant that Sonny owned. That only business was conducted in there. They go in there and just sit and talk.
Yeah,
That's the type of scenery that I viewed when I saw that restaurant because I never thought about going in there. I don't know anybody I know thought about going in there. I think something was going in the store. But early in the morning, walking the B6, I didn't know until we got older that there was a line, and what that line was for, leading into this apartment building. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm half asleep. I really don't care. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing getting on that line or
Walk
what's that
straight
line
through it.
about, but it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
Bro, that was they was waiting to get drugs.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. The same thing I said to you. I didn't like. I knew it, but I didn't really like
Yeah.
care to know what was happening. But
I
I
mean,
knew. Come on,
it
like
didn't even honestly it didn't dawn on me. I don't know when it dawned on you until I was
but did you ever
out of high
see
school.
the raids though? Like, first of all, like what I remember, the same lines, but I always remember them yelling out something and then everybody scattering. Like when they see a police, they yell out something. All of a sudden, I see a police car coming down the street, and I also see people scattering. Going different directions. I remember seeing that almost every day. It was a certain time every single day, same time every single day. That line will form, and also when the police come around, everybody starts scattering.
You didn't have a CD player in high school?
Um, I know I had one
A
in
Walkman?
college. I know I had one. I don't know if I had it in
I
high school.
always had in high school. CD player. That's like, I think that's why I am the way I am. I can't go to the gym without listening to music. The point I'm making, we was walking to this bus. That took about 10 minutes. It was like a 8 minute walk, right? Because we
Something
had
like
to
that.
walk
Yeah.
about maybe 7 blocks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember the sound. I think most of my time walking to the bus and on the bus, I was listening to music. So I only cut you off to say that you heard people shouting stuff out. Now that'll probably make me not be numb to what was going on. All I know was walking. I was listening to music, or maybe I was just toning out what was going on in the world. That I didn't hear anybody yelling stuff out. All I did was see. I saw that restaurant that nobody went into. I saw that bullshit bodega. Bodega is a
Yeah.
corner store for everybody in New York. Everybody know that.
Yeah.
Um, I just saw things, but I didn't hear it. I tried not to hear it. There's a bunch of bullshit out there. So um, it's funny you said they shout stuff out. I just saw them on that line, and I didn't know what that line was for. I just kept moving. But
Nah,
again,
no,
not until
again, talking
after
to
high
you.
school.
No, I definitely remember what the line was. 'Cause was one day I was walking down the block and somebody dropped a whole bunch of money, like hundreds,
Really?
like because everybody was
Wait, walking
scattered.
by you?
Yeah, like hundreds. Like,
Was
and
I
I didn't.
around?
I don't think so. But I saw it, looked at it, kept on walking. Like, there's no way I was touching that. Like, so I know I had to know exactly what was happening because a whole bunch of hundreds dropped it. It was, I think, another lady close to me, and she looked at it. She ain't touched that either. Like, we all just kept on walking. Like, it was dangerous actually, and we
Yeah.
walk into it every day. Like, anything could pop off. Somebody could start shooting. Whatever could happen. Like, imagine a $100 bills drop in front of you as a kid, and you know enough not to even touch it. You just kept on walking.
I
That
don't
was
know,
me.
man.
That happened.
I,
I wasn't
I
touching that, bro.
honestly, with my headphones, walking, and I just see some money rolling down the street, I might have grabbed it, and
Yeah.
it probably went ugly. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't. I was fortunate enough. I never seen no raids happening. I did see one, but it was when we weren't going to school. It was just actually on the other side on Hegeman. That store. That's another topic. But yeah, that walk was interesting. I mean, then after that, because where that line and where that happened that you're talking about was literally right around the corner from the house.
and,
Um,
and there was a library too. So we had
right,
churches, we had
right.
library,
hmm I actually
laundry mat. Like,
worked at that library
okay,
for a few months, not long, but literally, I think my senior year or junior year in high school. But anyway,
yeah,
right after the uh, the library, we had that little another church that they had a little basketball court. Did you ever
oh
play in the
yeah,
basketball
yeah, yeah.
court?
Yeah, I played there. One time they gave free pizza when I played it. There used to be some ballers in there, man. Like some real
Yeah,
ballers in there.
yeah.
But
I
that
didn't.
that library, real quick, my memory of that library, that was a place to meet girls. Like, every day we went to the library, like, for what? Like, we not even reading books and doing homework, but it was like a place know you can't really talk, but everybody like go there,
Mm.
and it's like you meet girls there. That was just what I remember about that library.
That was a very safe place, I should say. Inside,
Yeah,
literally right outside, was another story because you
yeah.
had that the little playground right behind it, but
And that
that
park behind that park was dangerous park too. I played ball there, but I didn't like to play basketball in the
I,
parks in New York,
yeah.
bro. That was like that's a
That
dangerous
was
place
one
to
of
be.
the parks. I think I didn't play until like I don't know. I think I played in high school as well as after high school, but it was rare. Like it was, like you said, that was a park that I really didn't trust. I didn't know too many people. I think I had even had beef with a few people in that area, so I stayed from that park. And
But did
then
we say
after
it out loud though? Like, did we say what's happening on the way to school? Like they literally selling drugs. We say those words yet?
I mean, I
Or
think people
are
could
we
put.
beating around the bush? Like, yeah, they was
I
selling
mean,
drugs,
you could put it
crack,
together. They're
like,
online.
yeah,
I don't
on
know
the
what the
line,
crap stuff is.
selling,
I guess
buying.
to this
It's
day,
like
I could
we're
find
walking
out
through
what
that
they were
on our way
selling.
to school. Just picture it, like people selling drugs, lying on people selling drugs, buying drugs, and we literally walking through it on our way to school every single day. Like
Yeah,
growing up in Brooklyn.
I don't know what type of drugs they were selling.
I don't know either,
Um,
man.
I could find out if I asked around, but
It had
I
to be back in those days. It was those little same thing we found in the upstairs apartment. Those little crack bottles. It was like little bottles, and it had little crack like powder in it, and that was like the crack or whatever it is.
guess.
I'm not, I'm not an expert on the drug thing, but it was these little crack pipes basically. It's like little
Mhm.
bottles, narrow looking bottles, and it has stuff in it, and that's what they used to get high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, but I think I'm fortunate enough for you're fortunate enough that nothing happened
yeah,
on the way to school because
yeah.
even right after that line, like I said, that library that I worked at that you went to just to talk to girls or whatever, that was not a safe area in itself. And then you got to think this was crack of dawn. You had to be at school at what 8, 9.
Early.
So we was up. We was up like 6 in the morning just before the sun rose, just to get to the bus. Then after that, it was. I think it had like it's like a lot of vacancy through that strip, right?
But before you get that far, I remember those drug busts, those raids, and I also
Fuck,
remember
you did. You saw all of this going to
all of that,
school?
bro. Yes, yes. Cops
No, I'm
come
not even
and they
joking
busting
around,
in.
man. What?
Yeah,
What?
they,
I guess
bro.
maybe that.
The
Yeah,
same
was I
apartment
late?
you're talking about, cops will come, a whole bunch of cops, and burst into that apartment. And I'm telling you, literally the next day, they would have another apartment, like
How
on
come
the
you
block.
never said this shit when we was in school?
It was nothing to talk about. Like I said,
Nah.
I'm not talking. That's the first time I'm talking about it. Honestly, like I don't even think told my wife or anything like that. Like I never like processed it. It was like numb to me, like normal. Just that's
I don't
how
remember.
every day is
I don't
supposed to
remember.
be,
I don't remember all these raids. Like
bro.
we went to the
Yeah,
same fucking school.
yeah, yeah. Man,
I saw a raid after school, one, and I was still like mind blown because what they were doing was very discreet. So the money they was making had to be a lot for them to get raided. But I never seen no activity for that raid that was on the other side of the street, like on Hageman. But these raids that you talk about before school, I've never seen. I don't remember seeing one. I really don't remember seeing one. So
yeah.
maybe you
Well,
just left
I
school
know.
early.
At a certain point, I think it was junior high school. You started driving to school.
No.
Not junior high school. What I mean,
High school. It was like my
junior.
last.
Sorry, junior year in high
Oh
school.
yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So that's 2 years
oh,
that you didn't take the bus, mind you, just to keep in mind.
oh, that's right.
My man never gave me a ride to school. Second
Ah,
thing.
my bad.
Sorry.
Bro,
But
I was
so for
feeling
the
myself
first
too
two
much,
years,
man.
yeah, I mean,
I was,
I
I
did
was
4 years on that bus, guys. 4 years.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
you only did
All
two.
right. No, wait.
So
2.5. I don't think I jumped right in junior here, but
right, but
it
still,
was so. Yeah, that's another conversation in
yeah,
itself,
we'll
man.
have it. We'll
But
have it.
anyway, those 2 years. So yeah, I guess you had a hell of a four.
Oh
I
man,
didn't realize. I just thought about it
yeah,
until you
no,
just said it.
I
My
got a
senior
good
year,
memory,
I
man. I
did
got a good,
not
yeah.
take the bus.
No,
Damn, my bad. I left you
yeah,
out there, man.
it's all good, man. It's
I'm
all
glad you
good.
made it.
It was lot of things going on. I don't know. It's okay.
Glad you made it, man. Because
Yeah,
let me tell you, that fucking oh my, I'm sorry, but damn. Nah, all jokes aside, I'm sorry, man.
yeah. No, it's all
I'm
good,
gonna tell
man.
you why I'm sorry because we didn't even get on the bus yet. We didn't tell everybody about the bus. and you could
Yeah,
have
well,
fucking
still, before
died,
we get
bro.
to the bus, I guess I have more memories of the bus. But do you remember like these stray dogs, these street dogs? They used to always be roaming down that block. Right?
I
Like,
told you, I'm gonna take it
okay,
back. I'm gonna say it again. I am very fortunate. I could have died. There's so
yeah,
many stories I have where when I wasn't driving, because
yeah,
even after high school, I lost that car
yeah.
and I had to get back on public transportation, and I just blacked out on my surroundings. People that's watching, that you are in a rough neighborhood. We were in rough neighborhoods. You probably shouldn't be listening to the radio or any type of music on the way unless you're known. And even if you're not known, people got enemies. So many things could have happened to me. So many things could have happened to you. And you was listening to all this stuff. You was listening to them calling out, form a line, and all this other stuff. I might have heard it once or twice, but I was like, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me, and kept it moving. But I say that to say, if you got music in your ear and you're not listening to these stray dogs that you heard, you saw about,
Bro,
I
like they
saw
used
them.
to chase you, bro. Like, like you had to like
Well,
be
maybe they didn't
careful.
chase me because I was walking calmly, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't run, but like
I don't remember.
I knew enough to how to maneuver through it. Like you couldn't just walk up to the dog; like they would bark at you and try to attack you. So like
I
either
think
if they're on one side of the street, you got to move over to the next side of the street, or maybe when they're not looking, okay, let me speed up a little bit. So it was I
you,
seen people get chased by a dog and dog try to attack them. Like it was constantly out there.
you know what I mean? The sensors had to be up regardless if you got
Yeah,
headphones on or not, because I didn't even think about it. We've been out of New York for a while. Remember about the
yeah,
rats?
yeah.
Oh, I don't do rats, man. And the shits was out there early in the morning. If you got the garbage out and stuff like that, so
Yeah,
I was looking unconsciously, observing my surroundings, but
yeah.
I forgot about the rats. You talk about the stray dogs. I think I was focused on the rats. I don't know
Yeah.
if I was, as I didn't want to cross them. I heard about them jumping at people, so or the raccoons too.
I was used to the rats, man. Like I said, we used to live in a basement and we had a lot of rats in the basement. So
Yeah,
it's like,
rats.
yeah, it was rats in the
Mm,
basement, big ass
mm.
rats in the basement.
Are you
Yeah,
fucking serious?
yeah, yeah. Rats
Me had
usually they're usually in the basement, but yeah,
shit. I
yeah,
had mice in my house, and I ain't like them shits.
yeah. I had
You
those
know
too.
that,
Like, you
and then
jump on the
that's what
table
we.
or something because
Oh
it's
my!
like
While y'all
we.
eating?
If no, I'm not saying no. We will jump on the table. If I see a
Oh,
mouse on the
oh,
floor, like I'm on the table, I'm on the chair, like and getting a broom, try to hit it because you don't want it to like touch you. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
trying to kill it, but I don't want it to like run on my foot or anything or try to bite me. So we'll jump on the
When I
chair and
when
grab a
when my
broom, try
shit
to hit
got
it.
out of hand, we got a cat, man. We got a cat, and then it numbed that down. But anyway, we're getting off topic, man.
Yeah,
God damn, but there was just a lot going on. You got stray dogs, you got rats, you got drug dealers, you got beef.
yeah,
Like, I mean, I didn't have too many problems uh, walking to school. It was usually during school and after school.
yeah. That was the
And
easy part.
yeah, going to school, everybody know you just going
Walking
to school.
walking through the drug dealers and the crackheads and the stray dogs that try to tell you that was the easy part of our day. You know, that was
And,
nothing compared to
yeah, and they probably
actually
knew.
getting on the bus.
Yeah, they knew we weren't in the game, so we kind of like
Yeah,
were blinded to them. They was like, these kids
yeah,
can't do nothing for me. I can't do nothing for them. Let me
right.
just not even
It was
bother.
just a matter of not getting caught in the middle of whatever they had going on. Even though we were walking through it, God blessed us, like you said, not to get hit by a stray bullet or wrongly
Yeah,
arrested
and
or
even
anything
with the
like that.
raids,
Yeah.
some people don't want to get caught, and it's
And it
just
might
find
grab you
out.
thinking you're a part of it. So I mean, it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another think about it. I mean, I might have just missed it because I do remember every now and again maybe a police car out there on the way,
always, bro.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever. This is
They
nothing to do with
always
me.
circling,
Ain't
riding
nothing,
slow, looking.
you
I
know.
mean, I saw it clear. I know they saw it. They probably was getting paid or not to,
Yeah,
to look the other way or whatever. I don't know what it was. But
yeah,
if I knew what was happening at 14, 15 years old, I'm sure they did.
yeah. But anyway, so we got the stray dogs, we got the rats coming to the school, in the abandoned area. It was a nice, maybe one one street, two streets where it was kind of abandoned, and then
Okay.
we get down to the taxi stand
Okay. Yeah.
at New Lots, and you got the number spots, a bunch of just regular stores around there that was
Did
not
you
a
have
part of our
breakfast?
life.
Did you like stop at the bodega underneath the train
Nah,
station and eat like
I,
the
I was
bagel and
broke, bro. I was
ham
broke.
and
If I ate
cheese?
anything, it was cereal in the morning. I didn't have nothing.
It wasn't
On,
every morning, but once in a while I would grab like egg sandwich on a bagel or something. Once in a while.
yeah, I never had parts of that. I mean, and I know that's a big thing in New York. I apologize. I never got involved with the sandwiches at the bodegas. I
Yeah.
just, even as an adult, because as a kid, if you get sucked into that as an adult, you will keep going. As an adult, I'm watching people go in the store, get their paper, and they sandwich. And there's be a nice little line for that sandwich that's supposedly amazing. I think I had it once or twice as an adult, but I didn't go in there for that.
Yeah.
So you try to tell me before you got on the bus you went and got a sandwich?
Sometimes you early, the time the bus gonna
Oh
come
yeah,
and
that's
have
why
to
we
wait and
didn't
stuff
catch
like that.
each other as much, or we caught up because you had to leave early to go get your sandwich,
But
and
the thing
then
is it wasn't every day, but now that I think of it again, this is to me having this conversation is just bringing up memories. But like that's why I'm the way I am today. I'm always early to work or wherever I go. I wasn't early to this podcasting, but I was a little bit late. You was early, but I'm usually early to wherever I'm going. And going to school in high school, I was always early. I was never late. So always
mhm.
got there early. So we had plenty of time to just relax. It's better be early than late. And that carried with me to this day. But
And
yeah,
where you
sometimes early enough to get the sandwich, sometimes early enough just to stand there. But when you
and when
finally
you
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say to piggyback on you being early and what you have been brought up to do, be early and be on time, is made a difference in your life. I'm half-assed like that. Like sometimes when I'm early, I'll be early and I'm productive. Um, then when I start really being focused and early, I was doing the gym thing, get my body right, and I see results. So I mean, I wish I would have got into that early. Maybe I'd have been consistent being early because I still to this day struggle with the trying to be on time for something. So you was able to get up early. You saw probably more or different things, the raid and stuff like that. Like I said, I do remember the aftermath of the raid. I never saw the actual raid. You said you was literally around that, but
Yeah.
that's because I wasn't early enough to get to that bus to see there. But again, I didn't get there early because I didn't want no sandwich. But I made sure I got up just enough time to just make it. So I almost had to rush to the bus where you took your time and saw all of this stuff.
Yeah, because
It's
those
crazy.
drug stuff was the same time every day. Like whatever time it was, I don't remember the time, but it was this even if to the minute to the second was the same time every day. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you take that same route, same time, you're gonna see it because
Mm-hmm.
it was consistent with their time.
Mm-hmm.
So do you? So the bus is coming around. We're the first stop, right? Because it's like okay, it's the last stop when you're coming home, and it's the first stop when we're going to school.
Right.
So like you said on New Lots, um, the bus first stop, the bus come around, wrap around, and we get on the bus. Like, do you remember the ghetto bus driver?
You get no ghetto bus driver in the morning, man. You jumping the gun. Early in the
So he was
morning,
never in the morning.
nah.
Nah,
If
nah, he was
he was quiet and he wasn't
for
the,
real.
the
But yeah,
experience.
but
He wasn't the
but
experience that we saw after school. During school was kind of dull because everybody half sleep. I got my headphones on again, so I have no idea what you're hearing and seeing. More hearing, but I know for me, what I saw was early people between us kids and adults going to work, and everybody's just to themselves. It was no problems for me in the morning.
no, you're
I
right.
don't know
You're
about
right.
you.
It wasn't any problems in the morning, but I do remember the ghetto bus driver, and I don't know who gave him the name to ghetto bus driver, but it's self-explanatory. Like
Let,
he
let,
was. You want to explain it?
no. Because you jumping the gun again,
I don't.
going.
I don't think
So,
I'm jumping.
wait,
I
what about
remember
the
him
morning?
in the
How
morning.
was
He
your
was
morning?
there
So in the morning he
on the
was there.
bus. Like you said, it wasn't. I still had my eyes open on the bus because what we got on is the first stop, but we got to go through all of these stops and go through all of these neighborhoods across the boulevard. But for the most part, nothing really happened in the morning, like you
So
said.
you saw the ghetto bus driver in the morning.
He was definitely there in the morning, and the reason why I remember he was there in the morning because he always let damn girls on for free. Like he be talking to the girls, like the young girls that's in high school that's
Oh,
under
fuckers, a pedophile.
18, 17, 16, like underage. He always like I don't think he was like talking to. He was like they was flirting with him, and he would always let them on free. Like
Yeah,
he,
he's
he
fishing.
yeah,
So
right.
a
Yeah,
lot of
he was
times
the
when you
ghetto
fish,
bus
somebody's
driver.
gonna bite.
Yeah,
That's the fucked up.
I don't know if he ever. I don't know anything if he got anybody number or went further with any of the underage girls. But I know they used to flirt with him, and they used to
Mm.
just get on the bus. But he used to let everybody on the bus for free. But
Hmm.
we had in order to get on the bus, we had to have bus passes. Not
Oh shit, that's another thing. Oh man, so you got your bus. You actually got to that school because
I
how
applied
did
and
you
they
get?
accepted me. Yeah,
Oh, you applied
I applied, bro. It was a couple of schools. Remember, Jefferson was our
zone
zone
school.
school, and during junior high, we had to apply to schools that we wanted to go to, and
I
South
was so
Shore accepted
lazy.
me.
I just like I got out of junior high, whoever's taking me, but my mother wasn't having that shit. She was not trying to. My parents basically was not trying to have me go to jail for that badass school. So I got like kind of like manipulated the system how I got into South Shore. But anyway, on the bus. So for me, I just want my viewers to know I didn't abandon you when I got my car, but I was more or less being selfish and thinking to myself, all right, I'm that nigga now. I got the car. I need to
Yeah,
see.
money, car, chain. You
Yeah,
came across some money, and you
exactly.
definitely was showing it. Forgot
So,
about the people
well,
that
it was the
was
last.
with you.
It was it was the last year. I think I got that card last. Yeah, I did get that card last year. So I went 3 years with you, man. 3 years strong on that bus.
Yeah.
Cause I know when I got my money, and I got my money when I was a senior. But anyway, um, getting on that bus in the morning, and the reason I became the person I am today is because we saw and dealt with so much on that bus. Once I got my car, I said, fuck public transportation. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that when you get on the bus and you're the first one getting on the bus, it's calm, it's cool. As long as you get you a seat, you good. But if imagine getting on that bus, the first stop, and you're standing up, and then you got to deal with all those other stops that's doing the same thing. All these other stops, they going to school just like we are, and the bus is getting more cramped and cramped and
Well, let me ask
cramped.
you a question. When you got on the bus in the morning, did you sit in the back of the bus or the front of the bus?
That's you jump in the story,
No,
Locksley.
I'm just one of those. Like you already left,
I got
but you're talking about cramp.
all right
So
for
you're the
me.
first ones on the bus. Nobody else is on the bus. So you could pick whatever seat you want. Where are you
Okay,
sitting on the bus?
okay. So here's the thing, and I learned how you had to learn this early. When you get on the bus, wherever the available seat, boom. But when you're experienced, you don't want to sit too close to the front because old people are getting on.
Yeah.
It, you don't want to sit in the back because that's if they in a wheelchair, they're going to get that first lane. So there's times when I was a rookie, I would sit on those vulnerable seats, and you have tired. I know you're a kid, but just like anybody else, you want your feeling of peace. Now imagine you in your middle of your piece and an old person get on and you like, fuck, you gotta
Gotta
get
get
up.
up.
You and
Yeah.
just you fucking up my piece.
Yeah.
So I would never sit directly in the front. because I know I got to get up for an old person, and I would not sit right there at the exit, even though that exit was just prime because you could just jump right off the bus. It felt like those seats were a little bit wider. It's
Look,
just a
man,
different feeling.
there's a reason why I asked the question, and I thought you was gonna answer it the way that I
No,
was
I know where you're
remembering.
going with
But
it. I know where you're going,
yeah,
but that's
well,
that's
let me
that's
just
that's
for
that's
me,
coming back. But that's coming back.
nah, but
Going to
okay,
school was not a problem.
I know, I know, but for me, in the mornings, like I said, we could pick any seat because we're first ones on the bus. So in the
Mhm.
mornings, I used to sit in the back of the bus, confidently, comfortable. Don't worry about, like you said, in the morning, it was no trouble. Coming home, I didn't sit in the back of the bus, but go ahead.
But yeah, honestly, as you think about it, and I'm not gonna jump the gun either. But when I realized and I start sitting in the back, um, if that was the most comfortable, really,
Yeah, yeah,
because it's hard to lean over a person, and if they
yeah.
are leaning over you, you still got the back to kind of lean. You
Because
know what I
yeah,
mean?
sitting in the back of the bus, you could see everything in the front.
Exactly.
Because the
But
front, you just facing one way. You
mhm,
can't really see everything. You hold surround. Sitting in the back, you can see everybody, everything sitting in the back.
mhm.
Sitting in the back of the bus is weird, but yeah, back of the bus. Yeah, but
And
that was a place that was the best seat to sit in the back.
it's crazy. Standing up wasn't really a problem for me either. I didn't mind standing up as long as it wasn't cramped. If it was
I'm not
cramped, now
gonna
you leaning
stand if I
on
could
me and
sit
all,
down, bro. Like
huh?
if I could sit down, I'm not gonna stand.
No. What I mean is like, let's say I am sitting on one of those vulnerable seats and I got to
Yeah,
get up.
yeah.
I don't
Uh,
mind getting up. I got my music playing. I'm feeling pumped. But it's when it start getting cramped is when my pump I lose it and I'm like, please don't lean on me.
yeah, yeah.
I don't like the squish. That's why I said senior year when I was able to get that car and my money was up. It's like I'm out.
Yeah,
I forgot about my homies. I
yeah.
forgot about you,
No, it's
Lex.
all good, man.
I didn't even gonna lie. I think it was fucked up. I think I might have dropped you home maybe once or twice in my senior
Maybe
year.
once. I don't remember twice,
But
but
you know why? Because I kept cutting. I kept cutting.
yeah,
You
yeah.
couldn't keep me in school. I was like, why am I in school? My money's up. I'm doing big things. These hoes is everywhere. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, no, but on the way to South Shore was
What's a
kind
different
of.
neighborhood you remember going through? Like,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
we was
gotta
at the
go.
last stop, first stop. We taking it. We're going through.
All I
Uh,
know, all I remember going to school, and then my father always tried to make me more aware of my surroundings than I wanted to even accept or be visual of. Like he wanted me to know. I remember one time he told me to make a map. He wanted me to know all these streets. And I'm like, why? I don't want to know. But if he would explain why he was doing it instead of being just controlling, I would understood and I would like probably be more fearful. But it's very important for you to know all those streets. I mean, New Lots, Hegeman, Workman, all of them. It's just crazy because there's different zones where one neighborhood don't like the other, and you just need to. And it is good for you to know these people, so you can be kind of untouchable walking through them if you needed to. But all I just remember because we lived in homes and B6 began where you're still in like residential area where they had home. And then when you cross Pennsylvania, not Pennsylvania, Linden,
yeah,
you started to get into the project area. And then you got
that's
the
what I was about to
project
say.
kids.
We go through projects, and Linden Projects was. I mean, I forgot which
We
rapper
drove
that
through.
came from there, but Linden Projects is. You know, I don't know if every project is bad, but Linden Projects, was
You can
bad.
go ahead and sum it up. Most of them, 99% of
Yeah,
them bad. All of them were bad. The
yeah,
projects, I did not know of one that didn't have some shit going on where I said I should not be walking over here by myself
yeah.
if I didn't
So
know
when
nobody.
when you come up to that stop or that area, your eyes gotta open up a little
Open
bit. You
up a
gotta
little
be
bit, but
yeah,
I don't know. For me, just I could you could still get got on the bus, but I just looked at it as I'm safe in here. I'm in the
in the
bus,
morning. In the morning.
in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah,
but
in the morning.
if I had to walk it, nah,
Nah. Yeah,
I'm not doing that. Not only is it long, and the bus takes you way out your way to get to where you got to go, but even if you had to cut through, you're vulnerable for attack. But anyway, so in the morning, I don't remember any issues that we had to overcome other than that walk to the bus. On the
yeah,
bus in the morning was more of pick your seat to be comfortable on the way to school.
yeah.
That's
But,
that's
but
that's
we still
that's
going through different projects after Linden. I think it was. I know Canarsie area, right? It was like they had projects there, or like Rockaway, like it was like that famous stop where everybody get off of. It was like a stop that a lot of people get off and get on because I guess you could take
that
transfer
was
the
what you talking
train.
about you talking about Pennsylvania.
Nah, like after Pennsylvania Rockaway, it was like where you get the A train. You could get the A
Oh,
train at. It was like a big
oh,
shopping area down
yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, for me, I never had no problems in the morning with who got on the bus or not. For me, I think I was almost a little bougie to who was getting on the bus because I'm like, when you get on the bus at the beginning, it was more peace. You got early morning folks like yourself going to get your sandwiches and your coffee. Everybody's relaxed, nobody's talking.
Yeah,
it's very calm and
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But then when you start getting to those projects,
Yeah,
he's like, oh Lord, the niggas or something.
yeah. Oh man.
That's why I had to have my headphones, man. Cause that's when the lively kids, the bad kids getting on, and they just making a bunch of noise. So
Yeah.
I have to commend you, man. You went through 4 years, no
Yeah.
headphones. You had to
Uh,
hear all
it was
that
rough.
bullshit.
It was rough, bro. I mean, it was
I don't know
rough,
how you toned it out. I
bro.
still don't know how you said you went through 4 years and you don't remember if you had headphones on. Like I'm not.
Bro, I don't think I don't know if I had it. I didn't have it on. Like I had to be really
And then
mindful.
again, when we talk about headphones, back then nobody had a cell phone. I mean, I think even in high school, I think my senior year, close to graduating, is when I first got a cell phone. I remember out of my crew, only one person had a cell phone, Jack. I don't know if you
Okay,
remember Jack. He
I
had
remember Jack.
well, Jack had a cell phone, and we all was surrounding the cell phone. Like he had the games on it, making phone calls. He was the cool one out of all of us. But I say that to say is when I got the headphones on, I have a CD player, so I have to be mindful of my battery. So I had to not always play it all the way through that bus ride because I still got to ride back home. So I think sometimes walking to school, I wouldn't always have my music playing, but when I knew some niggas was around and I didn't want to hear them, I had that music on. That's why I said
Yeah,
you went through the whole bus ride
yeah.
and had to listen.
Do you remember getting off the bus, going into school, going through the metal detectors?
Oh man. Um,
You don't remember our
yeah,
school had the metal detectors?
I do. I do. It was
Okay, and
I
I know
just I
something else you remember. Like we had a fine, like this was a security guard. She looked good. I think you knew her, or so your mother knew her, or something. It was a security guard because we had security guards, we had metal detectors, and they had to check you. You know, obviously if it goes off. But I think we had a security guard that she looked young, she looked good, and I believe your mother knew her. Is that true or not?
I
Do you
don't
remember
remember
that?
that.
You don't even recall. Oh my
I
God,
don't remember.
this guy.
What year was senior year? Again, you gotta remember.
Junior, senior year. She was around for a while. I think she got fired, and she probably got fired for like because all the boys used to always try to mess with her or talk to her or whatever. But
Okay, let's just clear something for the viewers. Junior and senior year, I was really not there. I was there, but I was transitioning to not being there
I
because it's
got you.
just like you talk about junior year. I was making my way exit
Yeah,
of like really fucking up. So going through the metal detectors, my view of it was like, okay, I'm glad I feel a little bit safe, be going through it, and any of these badass kids is gonna bring something in, they're gonna confiscate it. I don't remember me bringing anything that was going to incriminate me too often. If I
Do
did,
you remember
I,
the rotunda? Do you remember that in the school? They called it
rotunda.
a rotunda. Like it was a big round hallway that you had to pass through in order to get to your classes. And if you look up the picture of South Shore, you will literally see a round building. So it was like part of
Mhm.
the school was just round, and they called it the rotunda. And everybody used to pass through that in order to get to where they had to go. It's called it the
Yeah,
rotunda. Damn, bro. It's like
vaguely,
you need to
vaguely.
go. Man, look, man. Oh my god, man. Like,
I would go in there to tell them, hey,
bro.
look, my
So
son goes to school. I need to go see his teacher.
I
And
think
I
they
just
closed
walk
it
around.
now, though.
South Shore?
I think they had closed it long time. I think they had closed it.
Damn,
They had
I
closed a
gotta
lot of
go
high
back.
schools, but I
Really?
think they had I think they had closed it.
How the fuck you close South Shore? South Shore is like Jeff is still open. Jeff gotta be open.
Nah, they had closed that. But when I say closed, what they did New York started to
Renovated.
do, they started to put more than one school in it. Like they say, okay, there's no more Jefferson. It's like they would
Mm,
have different floors, different schools and stuff like that. I don't know if South Shore was open to other schools, but I heard they had closed it.
wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah.
it's temporary or not. But anyway, um, so we're in school. Inside school is another topic. Let's just jump right back into after school.
Yeah. After school, shucks,
So
that's bringing back memories right there. First of all, after school, you had to pick what damn bus stop you go. It was only probably like 3 or 4 stops because that you could get on. Because I mean, you want to get on the first one so you could get a seat or get a spot before
so
the whole group of kids get on there.
right.
Yeah,
So you could leave our school the way it was designed. You could leave it out of two directions.
yeah.
You could leave on the side, the first side that you're talking about, where you can most likely get a seat.
For
And
all the
then you
group
could
of
go
kids get on.
over by McDonald's. The McDonald's side was like,
Jesus Christ, bro! Like,
oh my God.
damn,
It's crazy how close. You ever watch these documentaries about Bloods and Crips?
yeah. Well, no,
Do
but
you remember? Do you remember how they were set up? There was literally two crowds of kids, Bloods, Crips,
yeah.
right, like literally 10 feet away from each other, waiting to get on this bus. And we vaguely went. I don't remember ever going to that stop. For one, it just didn't make sense if you were trying to get a seat.
Yeah. If you want to get
But
home, because
it,
again, the
on
stop
top,
that we got on was before that stop, right? Because we got on at the side of the school, and
you
it
know
was
what I'm
before
thinking
the group.
about? You
Yeah,
know, I just thought about we chance life and death to get home early. Because
yeah,
if you think about it, we could have waited to all that madness and would have got home peacefully. But we chose life and death to get home early because what I mean by that is that everybody's getting out of school. You got one bus coming. They all trying to get on that bus, and if they don't, they have to wait for the next one.
yeah.
If we would have waited for the next one, a lot of the bullshit that we had to go through, we would have never
I
experienced.
see your point, but it wasn't always the next one because I remember like saying a prayer to myself, please don't get on the bus. Like it's not all the time the group of kids will get on that bus. They might wait for the next one. I'm like shit. Like okay, they if they got on and you're on it, obviously you don't want them to get on it. So it's not all the time they got on your bus. And I used to be like thankful, like thank God that it's like now we're gonna have a smooth ride home because they're not on it. But it's not all you know what I'm saying? It's not all the time they could fit. It's a lot of them. So sometimes they will wait for the next bus. So you think, okay, we did what you're saying, we did that. We skipped a bus. We okay, the bus is coming. Let's skip this one because all the group of kids gonna get on that one. And but we'll skip it and they would skip it, and they would still be on the same day. Sometimes we tried to skip. I
Because
remember trying to skip the
they
bus.
probably was thinking about the same thing we were. Like they don't want to be cramped. They want some
Right.
space.
Like, damn, I wish I would have got on that bus because now they're on my bus. I skipped it, purposely skipped it. So they could get on that bus, but they didn't get on the bus. They skipped it. And sometimes the bus driver would skip them. They see a crowd of people, they would just keep going because they know the trouble.
Yeah,
You
I didn't think about that. Yeah, but so our first, I think I think the bus ride going home connected me and you better because we was going through the same. We noticed we kept going through the same troubles. The going to school because we hung out on the in front of your house playing ball a little bit, but we didn't really connect until we kept going through the same troubles
Yes,
on that bus.
when you almost die together, I mean, it brings people closer. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of
Yeah,
times we could have
but
got into some.
exactly. But you get life and death every now and again. You have your own stories. I have my own.
Yeah,
So it's like the day
let
to
me
day. But
speaking
when
of
you keep having multiple, it's like, okay, let me hang out with this guy.
look,
And
right.
let me hang out with this guy because we keep having some shit together. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you my story now because this is a good opportunity. Because I remember you brought up how you senior year you hardly saw me because you didn't take the bus and you didn't offer me a ride. But senior year, there's a story that you don't know about, man. It was this
Oh
girl.
man.
It was this girl, right? Um, she was a really pretty girl. She used to dress really nice. Like she used to dress like she's going to a club. She was Spanish. She lived close to where we live because she got on the bus the same time and off the bus the same time. She was a senior. I think she had got held back, but I think she was a senior before me and she got held back or whatever. But she I think she lived over there by like Miller, so she had to walk. So anyway, she was really pretty, really attractive, and she dressed like she going to a club. And I don't know if you remember how they used to treat women in New York. Like these cars used to always slow down and
Hmm.
try to talk to them while they driving or holler at them or look at them, stare at them while they're driving and she's walking or she's waiting for the bus. So she came to me one day and said, "Hey, I don't think she introduced. I don't know her name. She just said, "Hey, can you pretend? Can I walk with you or pretend to be like my boyfriend type of thing? Just walk with me so these guys won't always stop and try to talk to me and stuff like that." So every day going home, we used to like walk together on the bus, walk together off the bus. I think that was my senior year. So just so guys don't like talk to her. Like I don't even remember her name. I don't even remember seeing anything. I don't remember. I never even tried to talk to her. Like she was like intimidating look wise or whatever. But I remember walking home from the sixth last stop, walking all the way with her, right by me or whatever. But just so guys still would, but I guess it didn't happen as much. They still was disrespectful. They see me walking with her and they still try to talk to her. But
Yeah, because you probably didn't look like a boyfriend. Like if you're a boyfriend, you got a little bit more
even if I did, bro,
connection.
even if I did, they
Nah.
still would do it. These are grown men driving these cars, and they still be disrespectful. I remember having a girlfriend, um, a real girlfriend, and guys still would try to do that.
In the
Like
middle of
that,
y'all conversations,
bro. Yeah, I mean it's New York, bro. Like I mean, I understand. Like
man,
yes,
that is kind of disrespect. I mean,
it
I
is
guess
disrespectful.
and then the our culture doesn't make it any better when you see it in the videos and the music stuff like that. Like you see it all the time, so I get it. You do feel a little bit more confident when you're in your car and a girl, good-looking girl, is walking and has to deal with what we had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Hey, you might as well just get in the car. It's rough out there in these
Yeah.
streets. Why are you walking with this guy? So I'm trying to put myself in the person that's in the car disrespecting you
I mean,
because
like I
I've
said,
kind of done
the
it. I've kind of
conversation
done it.
wouldn't get that far, but they will holler, whistle.
Yeah,
She
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wouldn't go towards them. She would
Right,
keep
right,
it
right.
moving with me, so she
Yeah, yeah,
wouldn't participate in this disrespect. But I'm just saying they would, but she
yeah.
didn't. She never wanted to engage. She never wanted. I don't know if she really had a boyfriend or not, but she used me in order to not have that much
You,
as much
you,
attention.
I'm visualizing it because you know there is girls out there that are attracted to humble guys that or doing the complete opposite of what they used to
I was an idiot,
deal
bro.
with.
I'm so
I
stupid.
know you didn't see the sign, but
Yeah,
I'm seeing it a little bit, and there's a small possibility that she wanted you to holler
I think
because
so, and I think I could have.
yeah,
Maybe.
exactly. You could have, and she probably would respect you. Let's say she didn't even like you at all, and you walked with her a week, 2 weeks, a month, and didn't say anything sexual or actual date. I think if you would have waited a month and you said, "Hey, let's go out one day," she could not resist that because you've been protecting her for so long. She's gonna give you the opportunity, but you blew it. I
No, I
probably
did.
would have done the same thing. I probably would have done the same thing.
And you know how I know too, like thinking back, because I remember it was one time I was walking with her, and some girl, some tall girl I knew from junior high, saw me, and she came to me and she gave me a hug, like right in front of her. Like I was, and that was disrespectful right there. And the girl who I was walking with, waited for me till
Mm.
I finished my conversation, and then, so I felt how she was looking. She had a look like, why she, like
What did she hug
looking.
you for?
She haven't seen me in a long. We used to go to junior high school together. She saw me and
Oh,
she hugged me, and
God damn! You know your senior year is starting to look good, man. I mean, mine's was cool, but
nah,
you
my
stayed
senior
out
year
of
was
trouble.
great. Like, nah, and my senior year had like 4 or 3 classes, so I used to get home early. So I avoided that whole my senior year. I didn't have
Yeah,
too much after school trouble because I was gone.
this is a perfect example of why you should get up, have a schedule, maybe even stop to get you a bagel like you did every morning, and you
Yeah,
graduate on time. Me, my senior year, I had a full schedule because I kept failing classes, and that was the life. I mean, for you to actually leave, uh, was it
man.
third, fourth period,
Yeah, it was
and then you
early.
got the rest of the day yourself. It's like that's you left lunchtime.
Yeah,
You
I was
left around
yeah,
early.
11, 12 o'clock. I was going, but it was. I remember one year I went to summer school, not because I needed it.
Yeah, you trying to leave early.
Yeah,
That
and I
was the
took a
first
math
year.
class. I
That was
don't know if it was the
our
first year.
nah, that was our first year. I'm gonna tell you. All right, so let's take it back. After we got off the bus, we had to go to homeroom. Homeroom explained everything, how you could leave early, how you could
Okay.
graduate early, what's the right thing to do. And I remember he saying, do summer school or night school and do extra classes. That way you can leave early and you can graduate. And you did everything to the T and you graduated. The only thing that held us back was those RCTs and regions that we failed
Yeah,
every now and again.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if I would have did exactly what you was doing and not cutting school and failing, I would have left and had the early schedule because that shit is sweet. Because I had to deal with. Well, I didn't have to deal with senior year because I was driving, but you had to deal with the senior rush. I mean the last period rush. Everybody leaving school. I didn't want to have to deal with that shit. And actually, it caused more tension. If I would have left if I did everything I was supposed to do like you did, leaving early, because my senior year, getting out of school, getting to my car, when people started noticing I was driving, I wasn't even driving with girls. I had niggas in the car that knew I was going the same way they was going. Bro, drive me off. Go the same way you going. Before I knew it, I
Right.
didn't even say yes.
They
They
didn't even
was
know
in
you
the
like
car.
that. They didn't even live on the same
Didn't
block.
even know me. Didn't even know
Yeah,
me.
and I
I
knew
was just
your
going
ass.
that way. Bro,
I ain't
let's
even
go.
asked.
They in the car. I'm in the car, they in the car. There was no conversations. We going.
Yeah,
I could have came up with some shit, but it was like, you already in the car, we going. All right. Hey, bro, I gotta go to work. No,
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't. No, you don't.
yeah.
Let's go. But yeah, you had a fucking awesome. I didn't know about the walking with a nice girl every day. That's crazy.
I don't remember her name. I'm sure she don't remember my name, but I'm sure she remember me, like how I remember her, because it was a
Yeah,
time in both of our life that I think it should stand out.
we approaching the hour, but we need to continue this because we did not talk about going back home on
Yeah,
B6.
yeah, yeah.
That
We got a
was a
boy.
no.
we, we
There's so many layers we need to cover on that one.
we got a we got a Boys in the Hood story. If anybody don't know the Boys in the Hood, with
Watch
Ice
it.
Cube,
Watch it
yeah,
first.
and Ricky,
Watch it first. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
we definitely have a Boys in the Hood story. A lot go back at this going through the drug dealers wasn't nothing compared to
Yeah.
riding on that
B
bus going
six.
home.
And the changes. The changes. You mean you saw I'm not gonna call us square, but two decent dudes. I might have challenged myself a little bit more than you did in high school, as far as getting in trouble. But there's no comparison. Like it was day to day guys, straight and narrow guys that within not even a full year where they changed completely. They wasn't the same person anymore. It went from the prey to predator. You know what I mean? Like, and that's insane, mind blowing. And you like look at them, and he's like, "You over here bullying people now? You're not built like that."
Yeah, I remember a couple people. Yeah,
Exactly. But yeah, we got to cover that. And just it's just the peer pressure is a bunch of shit. That B6 was a motherfucker. Like I know you had some stories going, or you heard some stuff going, but I just remember going home, and we gonna cover that one on the next one, man, because I don't want to approach this shit gonna get
going
too.
home. You didn't know if he was gonna make it home or not, man. It was
Yeah,
just that type
yeah.
of
We talk
ride.
about we talk about B6 anymore. That shit gonna approach 2-3 hours because that go
Yeah,
home.
no, yeah. It is an hour, and we don't want to keep going over. But we'll continue with a part two, and we'll wrap it up next week, and let everybody know about that Boys in the Hood story on the B6, and a lot more happening on the
Yes, sir.
B6.
Yes, sir.
More with the ghetto bus driver. The ghetto bus driver. Who have a ghetto bus driver, bro?
Yeah, the
This is like
ghetto bus driver.
legendary stories,
And
man.
we
Like,
say ghetto bus driver just to give you an idea with this dude, charismatic guy, black dude. I didn't even know that you could put a do rag on with the profession that he had back then. Like you're supposed to, when you think about a bus driver, you think about safety, you think about professionalism. He described as the complete opposite. When you think about the ghetto bus driver, it's just like the MTA said, "All right, we hire." Who needs work? And he came in there. He had his uniform on, but he had his do rag. He's a little chubby,
yeah,
charismatic, and was cool with everybody.
yeah,
I
everybody.
think if anybody had a problem on that bus with him, they had a problem because we probably would fuck him up because he was just so cool,
Yeah.
so cool. And also, I gotta talk about the how I had to get on the bus at times because your situation was different. Remember, we were in two different zones.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to say that I was living close to South Shore, so you.
Right. So we almost touched on it with some of bus passes. So you had a half a pass, a half a full fare. So, and you wasn't the only one. So some people had to pay, and that's what ties the ghetto bus driver. Because if you knew you had the ghetto bus driver, you didn't have to pay. It was no question. He wasn't gonna take no money from you. You were just gonna go on with the ghetto bus driver.
Actually, shit. If you had some adults that was not on, I had a bus pass. They got on for free. So
Yeah, cool
if they found out about him, shit, they knew they got a free ride if they came at certain times.
Yeah, that was nice, man.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up, man. We're gonna talk about this one. Just let's cut it off at the ghetto bus drop.
All right, man. Good talk, man. See you next week.